Now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of what Indians are all about.
I still say we Indian people are believers in the truth. This is the way of life that was given to your people. You're born an Indian, you're going to die an Indian. Indianness is a good life. You're facing an Indian this afternoon.
Good Saturday afternoon out there, everyone. Welcome to your number one source for Native American television news, Native News Today. I'm your host, Jason Salzman, welcoming you in to the Muskogee Media Studios here in Okmulgee, capital city of the Muskogee Creek Nation. So glad you could be with us right here on a great station, Tulsa CW 1219. We love coming into your homes every weekend, bringing you all the best from around Indian country. And sometimes we pay homage to some of the things that we've done in the past, some of the productions that we've been a part of, and that will certainly be the case this week. A very special episode of Native News Today as we honor a fallen friend of this program, and also to us individually, Mr. Mike Berryhill, taking his eternal walk and succumbing to a lengthy illness that he has been battling. And certainly we're glad that Mike is no longer suffering and ill, but at the same time, we're saddened by his untimely passing and want to look back on some of the great things that he did with us as far as helping to preserve Muskogee culture in a great way. Referred to many people that knew him as Chokotaksi Haya, which in the Muskogee Creek Nation literally translates into bow teacher, and that's certainly what he did. He taught the art of Muskogee Creek bow making, from going out in the woods to picking that special, just right piece of bow dark, to having, you know, the last stages of it, putting the bear grease on the twine, and going out and actually shooting in competitions, just shooting for the thrill of it, shooting game, whatever folks wanted to do with these bows. But that is the wonderful thing, and his legacy is keeping Muskogee culture tradition alive, whether it be with language, bow making, which was definitely his thing, and seeing classes in the society as we had on last week, and that you definitely know about at Muskogee Creek Nation, the bow shooters. You see them right off 75, first Saturday of every month. It's a great legacy that he's left behind, and one that he was a big part, like I said, of Native News Today and of our team here at Muskogee Media. And Jared Moore, our Muskogee multimedia producer here that does a lot of our direction with the show, went out with Mike in nature to get, you know, what it was all about for him, picking the wood, using the draw knife, you know, getting that perfect bow made and just putting a little bit of yourself into it, and how much meaning that carried with him and for our Muskogee people. And he was a part of this documentary, shooting it, putting it together. And we, to honor Mike this week, wanted to go back and show this great documentary and his efforts to preserve a great part of our culture. We'll miss you, Mike, and we certainly appreciate all of the things that you did as far as keeping culture alive.
Just right down here, I seen some boat art. There's some up in here on this little edge of this field. In here, this is all boat art in here. Most of it is. Almost immediately, all of that boat art lost. Just almost pretty near all of it. So what I want to do is walk over here and look over there, walk down here and look on that side, because I would cut this one. See this limb here? It's about 4 inches in diameter, and that's just a limb, see. But Guys, what I'm looking for is the straightness of the bark on the outside. I'll find one like this limb here that's coming straight up. Look for the length and the height that it's growing, and then I'll concentrate on the bark of it to see if it's twisted. And that's what you don't want, is twisted bark, because that's what's underneath the bark. The grain is going to be the same way. Like I said before, I don't really like to overcut on the trees and think that I might be able to use it. When you're thinking you might be able to use it, more than likely you probably won't. So when you look at a tree, you need to make your mind up with that tree and being able to, with experience, to be able to tell, like that tree we cut back here, that you can get maybe 1, 2, or 3 bows out of it. And with this log here, to get it out of here, we'll just probably make 2 pieces out of it, split in half. It's possible you might be getting 3, maybe 4 out of that, but we'll see after I get it split. Okay, see where it's checking? If you can get that, if you can look at it, you can actually see the crack in it right there? It's going all the way down to the other side of it. That's what you want right there. Mm-hmm. Got it? There's a back to a bow, upper limb, lower limb, belly, and a back. It's like a human being. Mm-hmm. And that to me is so unique about this. I call it a man bow because it's got an anatomy to it. So. Mm-hmm.
Seal the whole thing. Yeah. I believe.
Yeah.
Just where I don't know, did you hit the ends or just the ends? On the ones that are split, Mike, do you seal the whole exposed surface or just the ends?
Just the ends.
Just for the checking you're worried about. Because you want to check in the middle.
Right. We're up there pretty good where I'll take the hold. Yeah. And see, my Indian name, my great-grandma gave me my Indian name, and my Indian name is Lojo Hajo, and that could mean slow turtle, lazy turtle, crazy turtle, or crying turtle. See? So, and I'll always remember that, but I said, well, I'll just put my Indian name on it. So I've only put 2, I guess you'd call it a signature. I've only signed 2 bows like that because I was asked to do it. But I don't normally do it. Okay, that's what you wanted at that point of smoking. And when that piece of boat arc goes in there, it'll sizzle like it's cooking. And that's paraffin wax, and this is what it is right here. It's canning wax is all it is.
Golf wax.
And that's what I use. That's what I prefer to use because it seals and it goes into the wood. And you want to get that as deep, and I'll touch the bottom of that with that piece of boat arc there. But I'm saying in the older days, probably our people use bear grease, possibly any kind of fat will work. They might even use a little bit of, I wouldn't say they'd use hickory oil, but that was pretty scarce for them to make, a lot of work making that. But any kind of fat will work if you don't have something like this to do that with, and beeswax will work. But here's what I'm going to do is see that? And that's hot. Don't let it get on you. And that's going to coat that, and it'll go up into the end of that, where, if you can see that, where it'll keep that from checking. And you'll have less loss by doing that. Now that's going to reach a point where it'll cool down, and you don't want it to get real cool because it won't do its job. And wax will cool down real fast. So don't put bowwood or staves out in the open sun to cure out. You want to put these in a shed or barn and sort of space them apart where they'll get good ventilation, where the air can blow through it, and where they can lose moisture. Now, you can do it this way by putting it in a barn where it'll cure out, and you may have to wait a year or a year and a half. What we're trying to achieve here is getting down to past this bark, this whitewood that's called sapwood. All of that's got to come off till you get down to that first growth ring. And that's what we're about to start doing on this little stave here. I hope the vise will hold the Now, you can use this draw knife two ways. And the way I use it is this way, backwards. You got a little bit more control over it by using it this way, and you won't be not apt to make as many mistakes by using it this way. And you can turn it over and use it this way, where a lot of people think that's the way you use it, but if you're making a bow or ball sticks, you need to be able to have as much control over the tool as possible. So possibly our people used we had access to copper at one time, and probably they traded for copper, and they probably used these. If you've seen an adze, and they probably put a piece of copper that was real sharp into an adze at one time and used it to chop away excess wood in bulk. But in those days, they used stone tools. Now this is fresh cut today, and it's so easy to do. In fact, it's so easy. It's a pleasure to do that. But if you wait for that to cure out, I could never have went this far if that had been they cure that piece of wood. And see how that's bleeding through? Okay. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to, after this cures out, maybe go down to this one right there. See, that's your winter, that little old white area there.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually where the tree grew, the thicker, darker. Then you got a lighter one. And that's how you determine the years of the tree. If it's got a thicker growth ring in it, that might mean a wetter year.
Mm-hmm.
The center one may be a lean year, you know, or maybe little or no rain.
So will the bow be going across this way?
Okay. The way I'm doing this, and what you want to actually achieve when you're doing this part of it, is getting down to what a bow has got an anatomy to it, just like a human being. This will be the back of the bow.
Mm-hmm.
With that bark on the outside of that tree, the way that tree bends, that's the part that'll bend back to you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You never make the inside to bend away from you.
Okay.
Never. I mean, that's completely against the principles of making a bow. This part would be the belly.
Mm-hmm.
Belly of the bow. Method is really important. You got to have a method, and you can't get in a hurry with this. No hurry at all. See, some of that there coming off is sapwood, and it's getting down to that yellow wood, which is the heart. I'm just doing this to show y'all. To me, thin growth ring bows are stronger, because you talking about 5 or 6 stacks of maybe a 64th of an inch, maybe a 32nd of an inch stacked that thick, will make a stronger bow, and it holds up a little bit
Well,
better.
that's kind of like laminations in
Yeah,
fiberglass or
right.
whatever. The more you put on there, the tougher
Right.
it gets, doesn't it?
Right.
We certainly hope that you enjoy looking back at this documentary on bow making with Mike Berryhill, and as we honor his life, we're going to take a quick break here and give you a chance to get your bearings. We hope that you've been enjoying it so far. We'll be right back after this break with the conclusion of our footage.
For 3 years, kids have been asking their parents, what is that hill on the river going to be? What answer did you give?
Did you tell them that someday that half-finished structure will be one of America's most important attractions, bringing visitors from around the country and the world to Oklahoma?
Along with hundreds of millions of dollars into our economy.
There'll be state-of-the-art interactive displays that bring to life the stories, history, and culture of the 39 tribes that share this state.
A 210-acre landscape park and trail system. Beautiful retail and business space.
This will be another jewel in the crown of our state's tourism industry, and it will pay eternal tribute to the origin of our great state.
It's not a matter of whether we can afford to complete it. We simply can't afford not to. For the current generation of Oklahomans and the generations to come, let's finish it.
Let's finish it.
Let's finish it.
Pumunakadat nak aza gidomen, ajai jahaniat, omen ibuwakidos.
Daniels in Ogitskish, Bonshongi Benoat, Bomio, Boshomizatlish.
Momesh, Harishongigo Imongin, Hobidagi, Ani Omaga, Bomaha Hoye Imongin Oma, Bonshomegigos. For more information about Muskogee language preservation, please call us at 918-732-7724.
We believe if you teach a man to fish, you can feed him for a lifetime. We believe that transitioning convicted citizens back into our communities enhances public safety. We believe that every citizen, even ex-prisoners, are important and are capable of change. We believe in reclaiming our citizens and investing them back into a culture that embraces healing and restoration.
We believe
in reintegration.
Looking for your next 18-hole adventure? Then take a look at Fountainhead Creek Golf Club. Nestled in the beautiful confines of Lake Eufaula State Park, large sloping greens and well-placed bunkers characterize the Muskogee Creek Nation's Floyd Farley designed course and offers a fine test of skill for any golfer. Stay up on all the latest gear and equipment with a visit to our pro shop. Have lunch at the Turn at the Clubhouse Grill. We're waiting to accommodate you at Fountainhead Creek. So give us a call at 918-689-3209 or visit fountainheadgolf.com to book your next round. Fountainhead Creek Golf Club, close to home, far from ordinary. And welcome back to Native News Today, folks, as we continue honoring Mike Berryhill and the life and legacy of this great man here on our program today, and thanking him for all of his accomplishments and his contributions to this program. We take you back now to the documentary.
What he did, like for instance, one of the things he did was he became a soldier of fortune, and at the same time he was doing it, he was filming a documentary about doing it, because people don't really know anything about that and everything. And so on Yahoo, he has his exact equipment that he uses to do all his editing and everything. So I just told that, I was like, if we got that, we'd be set, because I know this guy's getting shot at. You know what I mean? We're not going to be having any problems with him, because he gives us exact specifications.
The bigger stuff is right over there, right where that high line telephone poles are right there. This right here is, I'll have to look at it, see if it's shorter, and that's really what I'm looking for. But what I wanted to get some footage on would be the tall river cane, because that's actually what they made blowguns out of, half an inch in diameter, and that's where the bigger is at. The shorter right here is you can use for arrow shafting, but the bigger is for blowguns and for matting. I make mats out of, and for baskets, and that's the bigger over there. But we might be able to get something out of here without having to. I think this slough kind of runs around kind of an angle, and I don't know whether they'll be able to get in there or not with the big stuff. But we can look at this and see if there's anything there. I was telling you about the difference in the two, and you'd almost have to take footage of bamboo and take some of this to tell the difference between the two. And they look the same, don't they? The vegetation on it, the color, and it's tricky though in a way. But once you know the difference, it's not hard to distinguish between the two. This is about right for an arrow shafting here, and that was what size I'd probably pick for arrows. Anything smaller than your little finger is what I usually try to pick for my arrows. And you have to kind of just look for it, just like boat art. Get the right size. Of course, your spaces between the joints make a lot of difference, and there's some of that about that I'm learning too, about the spaces between the joints. You don't want them real close together, but ideally anywhere from 6 to 8 inches apart for the nodes, where they're separated in the nodes there. But I'm gonna cut one. And, okay, these things are wicked, especially if you cut them off at the ground, and they get real sharp, almost razor sharp. And in Vietnam, your Viet Cong called punchy sticks from their bamboo, and they would coat them with human feces. And when a soldier fell down in that, it didn't kill him, but it caused others to have to carry him if it got infected, which most surely it would get infected. So they can be real lethal, other than making what you call arrow shafting out of it. But if you'll notice, they've got a little groove. Some do and some don't, but the higher up the groove is more apparent. See that? There's a little groove right there. I don't know if you can pick that up or not. But with bamboo, see, you got that groove that runs from end to end, a little more pronounced, a little deeper. And then, just like our river cane, it'll turn 180 degrees and run all the way up that end of it. A channel in there. But this stays green the year round. It's preferable to harvest it this time of year, just like you do your bowwood. But it don't take as long to cure, because you don't have the mass there. That's why it cures that quicker. So, I think we can probably take some in here without having to go over there to do this, and see what we can find in here.
And that'll bring our Native News Today episode today to a conclusion. We want to thank everyone out there and all the loved ones and relatives, friends of Mike Berryhill. To keep his memory alive, we really, found it a great thing that we could do here on the program to honor his memory this week, to be able to show some of the things that we were involved in with Mike and showing some of the footage that we obtained as a Muskogee Media video department. It's just a great thing that we were able to be a part of. I think that, this was so much bigger than us, and Mike even, many times admitted it was so much bigger than him, just as an individual, to keep that facet of our culture alive and to see Muskogee culture in the year 2014, holding on to its primitive roots and really modernizing along with the times, but holding on to those traditional values is a wonderful thing, and something that Mr. Berryhill was all about. And that's the great way that we can, sort of put out an homage to him and his memory and his legacy, was through things like today and the episode that we had. So want to thank everybody out there for watching us. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you can't catch us here on CW 1219, you can always check in at our YouTube channel there online. You can catch all of our videos, everything that we produce here at Muskogee Media. Also, you get a chance, go by our Facebook, facebook.com/nativenewscw19. You can check out our things throughout the week, sort of a social media tie-in with the production team and how we do things around here in our crew. Also, Twitter @NativeNewsGuys. Love to interact with you guys on there. So for Jared Moore, Tyler Roberts, all of us here that make this thing go, we want to thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you next week.